Hello, everyone, and welcome to Godsall's Turnbuckle, the wrestling podcast. I am running over here on YouTube.com, and it is time for predictions. And those predictions are going to be, of course, for WWE Money in the Bank 2020. That is coming up this Sunday. From what I can tell, is that based upon news and everything, that everything has already been taped for Sunday, and we're just going to be seeing it. We're just going to be seeing what had already been taped. I'm not sure how much, if any, of this is actually going to be live. It may be live starting with the Monday Night Raw the next night to go along with it. So I really don't know, but based off of everything, no spoilers have come out. So predictions, they are going to be happening, and they will be happening right now. And we have 6 matches so far. I guess there is a potential that they could add more matches, especially for any type of, if they want to add something for pre-show or anything to go along with that. But let's go ahead and get into it right now. It's going to be, the first match we're going to be going over is the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team title match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. It is going to be Lucha House Party versus the New Day, who are the current champions, the Forgotten Sons, and Miz and Morrison. And this one was basically built off the factors of the New Day, or Big E in this case, winning that triple threat match, which was a solo match, much like the one that they did at WrestleMania, to win the tag team titles. Miz and Morrison, of course, not happy that they didn't lose those titles in a normal tag team type situation to go along with that. But the Forgotten Sons ended up beating the New Day, and they beat the New Day down within that promo section. And then, of course, Lucha House Party had beaten Miz and Morrison. Therefore, we had gotten to the point of a fatal 4-way for those titles. I don't see them necessarily. I don't see them necessarily taking those titles off the New Day here, so I am going to go with the New Day on this one. I feel like they, even though the Forgotten Sons didn't do much in NXT, and I don't know how much they're really going to do up in the main roster. I mean, it's a wait and see type thing with that particular one. I can see them potentially going a little bit further, and we might get another one-on-one style match with them and the New Day down the line here. So I feel that it's probably going to be they're going to probably keep those tag team titles on the New Day for this particular instance to maybe run with that a little bit more. So I'm going to go with the New Day. Up next is the SmackDown Women's title match. It is Tamina going up against Bayley. And this match was built basically around what has been going on with Sasha and Bayley since WrestleMania, where it looked like Bayley could have potentially helped or couldn't help Sasha from getting pinned by Lacey Evans in that fatal 5-way match, in the elimination match, but also with the ever growing presence of every time Bayley trying to interfere in Sasha's behalf, whether it been against Tamina or against Lacey Evans. Something has always gone wrong and has caused Sasha to lose those matches. That's how this was kind of built. Was Tamina came out and challenged Bayley. Bayley said, "Sure, as long as you can beat Sasha." So she beat Sasha, but there was a little bit more tension. So you're seeing the tension building there, and as you can kind of see where I'm going with this is that there's not a lot really riding with Tamina on this. And based off of everything that I've been looking at, everything to go along with that, and we'll see a little bit more with Friday's SmackDown as well. But I'm going to go with Bayley to win this one. A lot of people are saying it's like, oh, maybe Tamina can win because if they're going to go with a Sasha and Bayley feud, it doesn't necessarily need the title. I don't see WWE creative seeing it that way. I do feel like they feel that this matchup needs the title to go along with it to make it even bigger. So they're going to have that case when they go with it. That's the main reason why I'm going with Bayley in this one. Now, to go off and really say what they've been doing with Tamina, it's been more on the social media side. She's come off as more of a badass within the TV area, but they're also doing this quote unquote instead of nobody's meaner than Tamina, they're doing a nobody's nicer than Tamina thing through the social media side, where she therapy session and did a couple of other couple minute segments that go along with it, which I thought were actually kind of funny. They were kind of good. They were good in that, like, they were good in that silly way to go along with it. So they are doing something with that, and that's nice to see. Go along to go along with it. I don't necessarily think it's going to lead to Tamina picking up the SmackDown title now. So I'm going to go with Bayley. Up next, we are going to have Drew McIntyre going up against Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. Let's be fully fair on this. Drew just won that title. I know ratings are down. Ratings are down across the board on a lot of different things to go along with that, especially with the factor of the no crowds that go along with it. It does feel like something is missing with wrestling without a crowd being there. And I feel that way with just a sporting thing in general. A crowd needs to be there, obviously, because of our situation in the world at this point in time. That can't be done at this moment. And I don't see them taking that title off of Drew for quite some time, just because ratings are down at this point. So I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre to pick up the victory. Now, let's be fully fair with how they've set up this feud. It's been very well done with everything that they've done so far. The aspect of how Seth Rollins is working is like he's giving that aspect of, you know what, it's not about me, it's about everybody else type thing, when you know to him it's all truthfully about him to go along with it. It's good to see Murphy back as well. It looks like they are going to continue on with that disciple side for Murphy on that one as well. But again, I just don't see Seth picking up the victory in this. So I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre. Up next is Universal title match. It is Braun Strowman going up against Bray Wyatt. Not The Fiend, just Bray Wyatt. Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt, I guess, to be more specific on that particular. This will be an interesting match. There is a potential that this match could end up being a squash match of some kind. I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case on this one, but I do feel like that the aspect of them using Bray Wyatt versus The Fiend is a way to put Braun Strowman over in this one. So I'm going to go with Braun Strowman to pick up the victory and go on and keep the Universal title for a period of time. Maybe he does fight The Fiend at some other point, which causes them to put the title back onto Bray to go along with that. I feel like they're doing this to prolong that a little bit longer, to not necessarily do it. Maybe this is a wonky finish that they do of the night. Who knows how the finish is really going to go. But storyline wise, you feel like this is that one area is like, maybe they're doing this just to make sure that they don't have to put the title on Bray at this point in time, to make it feel less like Braun being a transitional champion off of the Goldberg stuff. And I feel like that's where they're going with this one. That's why I'm going to go with Braun Strowman to pick up the victory and keep the Universal title. Now we are to the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. Usually, both of these matches are done separately separately from each other. You have the women's match, then you have the men's match. But what do they decide to do? They decide to go a little bit outside the box, and by that I mean way outside the box on that one. Of course, they are doing this in WWE headquarters. Both matches are going to be happening simultaneously at the same time. This will probably be into the cinematic nature that we saw for the Boneyard match, for the Firefly Funhouse match, for Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in the final portions of their feud with that match on NXT. That's where I feel like a lot of this is going at this point in time. On the women's side of it, you are going to have Asuka, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Carmella. On the men's side, you're going to have Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, Otis, and you'll have Rey Mysterio, Aleister Black, and AJ Styles. It's going to be an interesting way of what they're going to do this one. There's going to be two ways of really looking at this. This is full banter. This match, the way that they're deciding to do it, having it be at WWE headquarters, saying you're going to be climbing the corporate ladder, you got to start at the bottom floor and go all the way to the roof. And the rings on the roof, and the briefcases are up there, and you got to climb a ladder. You still got to climb a ladder to get the briefcases. First of all, with how much that they've been teasing it, somebody's going off that roof. Somebody's going to. Who it ends up being, I don't know on that one. I may try to take a prediction guess at which one's going up, but at least one is. Also, more likely, we're going to find Vince's office inside of there. There's going to be a lot of different things that could be going on in this particular style of match within the headquarters. And I get the Money in the Bank thing is supposed to be like a serious thing. But, and I feel like they'll treat that as such to its own degree. But with the factor that you're doing it in a headquarters building, like a DDT Pro match, let's be fully fair about this. This is essentially a DDT Pro match happening on WWE to go along with it. That they need to go full on the crazy to go along with it, whether it be photocopiers or this or that, or it's like there needs to be bits of comedy within this match to go along with it. Yes, you need to have the serious points, but you're in an office building doing a wrestling match. Think about that. Yeah, this is full banter at its best. And it should be interesting to see what they decide to do with it. If they embrace the silliness of the entire thing, I think it has the potential of being really good. If they just take it straight, like the straight and narrow, could be whatever. Could be whatever on that one. But let's see what ends up happening with that one. Now, in the terms of both matches, my picks for both of those matches are going to be, on the women's side, I'm going with Shayna Baszler. The reason why I'm going with Shayna Baszler is that Asuka and Becky, as I hit my microphone, Asuka and Becky have had, they've pretty much gone through their feud at this point in time. They have gone through their portion of the feud, and as much as Asuka's been like the MVP of this entire, like empty arena style stuff that has to be going on at this point, I don't see them putting it onto Asuka. They can always go down that route somewhere else down the line with that. Now, in the terms of somebody going after Becky Lynch, Nia Jax actually doesn't need the briefcase to technically do that. The reason for that being is she has never really fought Becky one-on-one. The only interaction that they've truthfully had with each other since the whole punch to the face back at Survivor Series 2018 has actually been in the Royal Rumble 2019 because Nia had been out with an injury for so long. So actually, in the terms of a match and feud, they can kind of go there at this point in time with them, which leads me to one of the other SmackDown ones, the SmackDown side of everything here. Dana Brooke, I don't see them I just don't see them doing it. Hopefully, for something like Dana Brooke in this one, who doesn't seem to always get a lot of opportunities, but is kind of liked by the, I wouldn't say kind of liked, but has been really liked by the crowd when we've had been able to have the crowd there. I don't see them putting it on her. Lacey Evans, I'm not sure where they're truthfully going with Lacey Evans at this point in time. I guess they could put it onto somebody on the SmackDown side, but I just don't see them doing it with Lacey Evans. And I like the aspect that they're teasing that Carmella can be a 3-time Money in the Bank winner, but I don't see them necessarily do it well, which leads me really only to Shayna Baszler. She doesn't have a true way to Becky at this point on that. Now, Grant, yeah, they could use this that one to go after Bailey or anything to go along with that as well. But I feel like they're going to be keeping this one on Raw, especially after them making mention. It's like, oh, Becky Lynch is going to confront the Money in the Bank winner on Monday night. It almost feels like they gave it away that it's going to be a Raw person. I mean, maybe that's just the red herring. I don't know. But it leads me more to Shayna Baszler. She needs another way to Becky at this point because she lost at WrestleMania. So that's why I'm going to go with Shayna Baszler. Now, going through everybody here. So, Otis. Love it. Would absolutely love it if they did it, but probably not going to happen at this point in time. Daniel Bryan, he doesn't really need it, though. I feel like he's going to embrace the silly. I feel like with whatever they filmed, he's going to embrace the silliness of this entire match. Rey Mysterio, I don't necessarily feel like that they're going to go that route with him being the one to pick up the briefcase. I do feel like this is more of a heel match, which, guess what? We have two heels in here. Aleister Black, he's not one of the heels. Aleister Black, I just don't feel like that is a good fit at this point. Now, this brings me to the two people. AJ Styles and King Corbin. AJ Styles and King Corbin. AJ Styles, now I don't imagine them trying to do a Money in the Bank cash-in too early. They may even hold off until they can start having crowds in the arenas again for those ones. So it would make sense for AJ Styles to pick up the victory. He did just get added in. Usually replacements do come out the victors in these style of matches. Maybe that's what they're kind of expecting there to go along with that. Also, it looks like he is building a feud with Aleister Black at this point in time, especially with what AJ said during his promo on Monday Night Raw about potentially throwing him off. He also made the mention to that with Rey Mysterio as well. But also Aleister Black cutting a promo on AJ Styles. You feel like that feud is going to continue a little bit more because we didn't really have a full definitive finish on it going into the WrestleMania season after Elimination Chamber. So AJ Styles is a very, very good choice. Also a very good choice because especially if they decide to do this with a crowd, especially if they decide to do the cash in with a crowd. King Corbin. King Corbin would be an interesting one. And you know what? I'm going with him. I'm going with King Corbin. Because imagine the nuclear heat we get. And maybe that they try to repeat with what they had back when they gave Baron Corbin the Money in the Bank to begin with. Now, that would be the interest. I think that would be the more interesting way of going. Just on my mind. And I feel like that is where they are going with it as well. And that's going to be my prediction is King Corbin. Because he suits that Money in the Bank so well in the terms of being a heel person. If you're going to put it onto somebody like a Shayna Baszler on that one, you're going to put it on somebody like a Shayna Baszler who is going to be dead serious with everything to go along with it. And that would even fully suit her as well. It's just like stalking her prey until she decides to strike and cash in the Money in the Bank. Man, the stuff that they could do with Baron Corbin, King Corbin, and that Money in the Bank contract would be absolutely fantastic. Crowds, everything would hate it when the crowds get to come back. I think it would be great on that one. So I'm going to go with King Corbin to pick up the men's money. Should be interesting what they decide to do Sunday on that one. By the way, in the terms of live reactions, I am going to be doing a live reaction show. Whether it's going to happen over here at Godsal's Turnbuckle, the Godsall Turnbuckle channel, or if it happens on my Twitch page, is yet to be determined. on that one. If it does end up being on Twitch, which actually I'll go ahead and say it now, it will happen over at Twitch. On that one, there should be a link in the description to my Twitch page if you do want to sit down for live reactions with that one. I will be having some fun watching the show, hopefully having fun on that one. I guess we never know until we actually fully watch it. But with that being said, if you want to tune in for that, I will be doing live reactions over there. Expect a full review of the show itself a little bit, maybe a day or so after the show happens. I don't know necessarily yet. We'll see how it ends up playing out in the end. But with that being said, that is everything I have. I hope you stay safe, stay healthy, take care. Have a great rest of your day.